My name is Annie Zheng, and for my final presentation, I chose a topic of differentiated instructions. The reason for this is that living in today's society, teachers are not only surrounded by advancing technology, but also the vast diversity of students in their classrooms, whether it's based on ethnicity, socioeconomic statuses, religion, gender, geography, or even disabilities. Teachers can no longer teach in the conventional and uniform ways that they used to anymore. By the end of the presentation, you will be able to answer to whether or not differentiated instructions should be adopted to better accommodate to every child's needs today in the United States. What is differentiated instruction? So according to a University of Virginia professor and a author of many published books based on differentiated instruction, Carol Ann Tomlinson. She states that the idea of differentiated instructions is to accommodate different ways that students learn involving a hefty dose of common sense as well as sturdy support in the theory and research of education. Tomlinson describes differentiation as a response to modified instruction in light of student differences. She acknowledges that teachers make such modifications in small but significant ways throughout the school day. These might be hard for some teachers, and thus in her many publications she writes and gives advice on how to achieve. Why is there a necessity for differential instructions? Because one, every child is unique with differing learning styles and preferences. Differentiation is practiced in classrooms to provide a learning environment and opportunities that divert away from excluding any one child. And two, because according to Oregon Live, the learning environment can play a powerful role in a child's academic success. The environment has the ability to affect a young person's development. So why should teachers differentiate instruction? Because one, as teachers, you truly want to educate your children. And to do that, you must learn who your children are and what kind of seed they are. And the seed refers back to Lisa Delpit's article of educators as seed people growing a new future. In this article, she describes that students are our future, where educators are the seed people slash farmers, and the children, of course, are the seeds. And the way that the children are taught and grown are determinant on the balance of water and sunlight. And thus, the final product of the blooming of the plant is our future. Two, because also the teacher wants to promote safe environments of encouragement, acceptance, and curiosity to learn between the students and the teachers. Teachers should also be teaching children and encouraging them to learn not only under the conventional ways of textbooks and lectures, but rather also to be allowing them to have divergent thinking. Divergent thinking isn't just creative thinking. It's also when a child has and comes up with multiple solutions and procedures in finding an answer to a question instead of just one plain old answer to a question. In countries like Asia and Finland, educators are actually perceived as elitist and important careers over there. And in these countries, teachers differentiate instructions in their class because they care and because those careers are actually something that they really love and enjoy and would like to make a difference toward their children. Statistically, why should our education system need such improvement? On a global scale, we definitely do, because in the year of 2012, NBC News reported that the United States rated 17th place for science and 24th place in math globally. In a more recent scale of the 2015 PISA test, The United States came in 24th place in reading and 36th place in math, while in countries like Shanghai, Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, and South Korea actually rated top 5, and Finland came in top 6th place after the Asian countries. In countries like Finland, there's actually a quote of, "There's no such thing as a failing of students in Finland." And this is very visible in the factor that in Finland, the dropout rate is actually only 2%. Meanwhile, in the United States, the dropout rate is 25%. Technology affects not just adults, but also students. According to EdTech Review, 54% of kids in this century start using mobile devices at the age of 5 to 8. 74% of iTunes' top-selling apps are actually designed for preschoolers and elementary school students. According to Information Week, information technology has become so tightly woven into our workday and personal lives that it's hard to imagine life without it. We actually use it on a daily basis. An example, we get directions from our GPSs and from our phones when we drive. We read books from our e-readers or online on a computer. We collaborate with colleagues on documents in the cloud or on Google Docs. We connect with friends on social media and such. And we do it all from our smartphones, our tablets, or even our laptops. So therefore, it's not surprising at all that teachers and students are using technology to motivate, attract, and enhance the performance level of learning. How can we incorporate technology into our current education system? Well, in the year of 2010, the nation adopted in the National Education Technology Plan, also known as the NETP. According to the Office of Educational Technology, the challenge of our education system is to leverage technology to create relevant learning experiences that mirror students' daily lives and the reality of their future. The NETP states that the state technology is part of our lives today and thus should be further used to execute and solve our nationwide problem of the education system. This plan presents a model for learning with the use of technology in learning, assessment, teaching, infrastructure, and productivity. Findings that lead to classrooms to take advantage of the technology can enable game-based learning, inquiry-based learning, auditory learning, project-based learning, and visual learning. 21st century schools and classrooms show significant factors to be used to enhance education, such as modern up-to-date technology, innovative accommodating, and helpful resources, studying-approved methods of teaching, and vibrant and inspiring environments for students. Every child can learn. We must expect every child to learn, and you must show us that every child is learning. This is the fundamental principle urged by George W. Bush in his sweeping educational public reform. The No Child Left Behind Act was signed into law by George W. Bush on January 8th of 2002 with unanimous support from the Congress to push public schools, educators, and children to improve on their education. Under this No Child Left Behind law, states must test students in reading and math from the 3rd grade to the 8th grade, and once in high school, along with being tested in science at least once in elementary, middle, and high school. What is the difference between formative assessments and summative assessments? Formative assessments, in one term, is known as low-stakes testing. Very similar to the differentiated instructions concept, it's when teachers provide feedback to students in ways to help them learn better and engage in better self-reflecting processes. It provides higher quality of learning, yet it is not often practiced by many teachers. Summative assessments, in contrast, is high-stakes testing, where students are constantly tested at the end of each periods of time. This actually helps teachers to organize and summarize where the students are throughout the school year. You may also recognize this term from the No Child Left Behind Act, where schools and teachers are rewarded and punished based on the student assessment scores. How does a teacher apply differentiated instruction in a classroom? According to Carol Ann Tomlinson, there are 4 factors in which a teacher can practice differentiation in a classroom, and those are content, process, products, and learning environments. In content is where a teacher can variably choose what the students learn and how the students will comprehend it. An example, the teachers can give the children, different groups of children, different topics and different levels of hardness and easiness of a topic depending on each child to accommodate them, of course. And in process, it's the activities in which the student takes part in order to make sense of what they have learned via internet field trips, books, and etc. In products, those are the culminating projects that ask the students to rehearse, apply, and extend what he or she has learned. And those can be in PowerPoints, board presentations, acting, essays, tests, and whatnot. In learning environments is the way that the classroom works and feels that the teacher can control and change according to his or her students. An example of various ways of a feel that a classroom can give off would be a family, a vibrant or a friendly environment. Practicing differentiated instruction in a classroom, there are principles to it. And those are 1, that the teacher focuses on the essentials. 2, the teacher attends to student differences. 3, assessment and instruction are inseparable. 4, the teacher modifies content, process, and products. 5, all the students participate in respectful work. 6, the student and teacher collaborate in learning. 7, the teacher balances group and individual norms. 8, the teacher and student work together flexibly. How should a teacher respond to the needs of students? The teacher should respond with invitation, opportunity, investment, persistence, and reflection. A teacher should always be accepting of the students and what they may ask, and an opportunity, the teacher should always allow the students to say their answers regardless if it's right or wrong. This creates an encouragement to the students. Investment is where the teacher should invest their times with the students and making sure that teachers are teaching the students and they are comprehending what they're learning. Persistence is where students are kept on the topic that they're not understanding until they fully understand it. Persistence is key. And reflection is important because it demonstrates how the student learned, processed, and practiced and used that knowledge that they have learned in the classroom. There's a saying that goes, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, but include me and I will learn." In this saying, it explains that every child deserves a classroom that will take the necessary initiatives to take the time to accommodate to each child, to teach them and include them. And this is what we call differentiated instruction.